the spring of 2022, my neighbor, Anthony, graciously agreed to teach me how to become a beekeeper. He had several hives and had been raising bees for over a year. I purchased a nucleus of bees from a local supplier, and Anthony lent me his spare bee suit, boxes, frames, smoker, and most importantly, his valuable advice and mentoring. I was very grateful. On June 20th, Anthony helped me transfer my nucleus of bees to my 10-frame hive. The nucleus includes a queen, worker bees, and drones that fill 5 frames to help get the hive established. The supplier had marked the queen with a pink dot so I could locate her easily. Anthony patiently showed me how to transfer 5 frames of solid bees to the hive, which, needless to say, was quite intimidating. After a successful transfer, we let the bees get oriented to their new home and begin establishing their new colony.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Okay. Yep. So should I put her on the inside or
just leave her how she is?
Okay, she's right
just
now?
place her down. Just be careful with her. All right.
After about 2 weeks, on July 3rd, we inspected the hive to see how things were going. It seemed as if the bees were adjusting well and multiplying. They were starting to fill in the other 5 frames with brood, eggs, and honeycomb, so they were doing what they were supposed to do. Or at least that's what we thought.
I like to use this portion to get between them.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Pick it up like
Right,
that.
that's what I was doing with the other one.
Okay.
On July 25th, I had my hive inspected by a state inspector, Randy, whom I met through the Summit County Beekeepers Association. He determined that my hive had swarmed, which means that almost half the hive had left along with the queen. This was not good news because a beehive cannot survive without its queen. There was an empty queen cell on one of the frames, and Randy surmised that the remaining bees had made another queen who was out on her first mating flight. We hoped that she had successfully mated with enough drones and would return to begin laying eggs in the hive, thus keeping it going.
So many bees in it.
I was going to say, if they swarm, how come there's all these bees?
But they only take 40%. And when they have 60,000 bees and 40% go, hard to even know it. 30 to 40%.
Oh, I don't like that.
So go ahead and get the next frame.
Yeah, but I'm just going to take this.
Just push that. Oh, okay. Yeah, then get the next frame out. I'll close this. So there could be another queen in here. We'll see. Being that the bottom of that cell was open, that tells you she may have emerged.
And then she would have taken bees with her
And
when
then,
they left?
well, no, the original queen took bees with her when she left.
Oh, really?
And they laid that as a swarm cell for the next generation.
Oh.
So she may be...
You think that's what happened?
So go ahead, take a look at that real good. See if you see any eggs.
Well, no. I just see honey and
So move on. Let me put this in this side. So look for eggs. any other brood. We want to see new brood.
I know.
Means,
All I see is honey everywhere.
so
that's all I
not
see.
good. With the queen, and you go ahead and get the next frame out.
Should I smash them? Should I smoke them?
No, they're fine.
I think they're getting a little mad.
Yeah, so if they get a little mad, then we'll smoke them.
Huh?
I don't see that they're mad.
You don't see that they're mad?
No.
Okay. Okay.
They look fun.
I'm starting to get happy feet.
I know. Trying to make noise. See, I don't see anything different.
Yeah, we need to see some eggs.
I know.
So there's old brood on that frame.
Yeah.
You see the old brood. No, that's wax. That's honey.
Oh. Well, all this brown stuff, is that cat brood?
That's cat brood, right.
Okay.
But we want to see brand new brood.
Oh, that's old brood.
That's so it's 21 days to make a worker cell.
Right.
So go ahead and lift that off. I'll put this back in. 21 days to make a worker. So that's probably, and it's capped after 10. So that is probably from sometime between 10 and, wait, I want to look at that.
Oh.
Don't you see that? Here, let me look. Make them a little more.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can't find the queen on this.
I don't see. It's got a pink dot.
Well, so I don't think so. I think she's swarmed. I don't know. We'll see.
Really?
If that was a swarm cell, she would have left, and you'll have a new queen now. But I'm looking for her. Or maybe she's on her maiden flight right now.
Man, I'll never be able to identify her.
Oh yeah, you can find her easy. In fact, I got a hive. She's so big and different, you don't need to mark her. Go ahead and get the next frame.
Yeah, well, that's you.
Yeah, well, no,
You've been
you'll
doing
see
this for 800
You'll
years.
see.
So.
No, it's a 6. I've done a 6 years.
Okay.
So
Well, it's more than me.
yeah.
This is my
so
first summer doing this.
You'll be able to find her in no time.
Okay, now this one's full of honey.
Take a look, see if there's any eggs. Any eggs
No,
there.
huh?
So what's that mean? Your hive is in a death spiral?
I don't know what it means.
If you don't have a queen, I'm breeding queens.
I don't see anything big. All I see
Yeah, I
is
don't
the same
see
size.
any eggs at all. There's some larvae, but no eggs. Okay, let me put this in and I'll take yours.
And there's lots of honey going on.
Yeah, and they're not testy. Let's see. It's not good. So it's open, see?
Yeah.
So let's take the hive.
Anthony thought that maybe the hive had gotten too hot, so he switched to another kind of mouse guard at the bottom to let in more ventilation. I'll never know for sure why my hive decided to find another home, but a few days later I took some of the weird comb that they had made and spooned some honey out for my own enjoyment. This is July 30th, 2022, and my hive made some weird comb, so I'm just gathering some honey from it and just putting the comb and the honey in this. Can you see that? Is it coming out, dripping into there? So I'm just going to open up this weird comb and see if there's any honey that comes out of it. So here's the comb, and it was weird they were making it kind of weird, so I thought I would just break it open, see what's in there. You're gonna maybe have to bring it. I don't know. You're gonna have to bring it closer. I don't know. Maybe there's nothing in there to bring. Oh, there it is.
It's only in the white.
I don't know. Okay, so it's all, I guess there's, yeah, I thought it would drip out, but it's not really dripping out.
You get a knife.
Oh. So I guess when they say it's a little harder to get the honey out than you think, they're not kidding. Okay, well, this is all the wax. Oh, there. So there's a bunch that's dripping out. I just thought I would spoon some out. Stick it in there. Anyway, they're definitely making honey. I'll just put this on my toes. So. Okay. This honey was delicious, but a few days later, Anthony gave me some comb from one of his hives. This is what honeycomb is supposed to look like. Yummy. By the beginning of August, we had added another 10-frame box called a medium super, so the colony could expand upwards after filling the bottom box, which is called a deep. On August 7th, Anthony helped me inspect the hive again, and thankfully we were able to find the new queen. Anthony captured her and skillfully marked her with a green dot. The frames were full of bees, comb, and honey, so we were satisfied that the new queen was doing her job by laying enough eggs to keep the hive healthy and strong.
Shaking them off there like that.
They're bees. They're fine. It's better for them to stay in the hive as opposed to come over here anyway. So from here you can just slide these off.
Right.
And you can see they're starting to build a little out on that, but nothing. So they're moving into the space. They're trying to occupy it.
Oh yeah, they got more here. They got quite a bit of comb
These
on
next
this
two
side.
you'll see.
Yeah.
These two you can click up with. It's just gonna spill. You might even see eggs on this. Nope.
Well, I'm getting a little better at getting these things out. Okay, so this is just
Some honey and
nothing.
pairing. They're doing a lot of it in this area though. Which is heads are bumping.
I know, yeah. They're like space cadets or something. Oh gosh. So this has a lot of stuff on it. Ooh, I guess we should be looking for the queen, right?
Yeah. It shouldn't be too hard to see her. This is gonna be heavy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you got that right. Oh, goodness gracious me.
Yeah, they're building it.
Oh.
Dumb, but that is huge. That is a lot of storage.
I mean, it's capped, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's capped honey?
That is all honey. Yeah, you got
Oh
it.
my gosh. And it's so heavy.
Hold on. I'll just place this one in here, and we should have enough space to just not hook them up out, and just put them over to the side.
Okay, and this one is kind of the same way. Like I want to take my spoon and just rub it down there. Lighter, yeah. Lighter. Oh, there's the queen.
You like what there she is?
Here she is, yeah.
Okay. You want to come to?
Wow.
A lot of resources. They're trying to make that work, but hey, that's what they'll use to eat off of, so
Yeah.
no worries.
They don't care what it looks like, right?
Not so
And
much.
the other one's
Not like the brood.
hardly anything. It's on the other one. So.
You're gonna die if you stay with it.
you saw the queen.
Yeah.
That look good?
He looks as good as it's gonna get. Yeah.
And
All
I
right.
don't know if that's too much space there or not. for
The
that,
edge
but-
is okay.
Oh,
you
the edge
you
is
don't
okay?
want the.
Oh, okay,
You
okay.
kind of want to just have them all.
By the end of August, I felt comfortable enough to inspect the hive on my own. After having 2 bees fly up my bee suit and 1 bee stinging me on my thumb, I decided to wear a belt around my waist and use heavier gloves during my inspections.
On both sides. And honey.
In early fall, Anthony began 6 weeks of an oxalic acid treatment to kill any mites before entering the winter season.
Okay, so this is a OA oxalic acid treatment before the winter time. Anthony, you do it what, 6 times?
Yes.
Once a week to kill any of the mites that might be in the hive so that they go into the winter time healthy. So he's just putting a vapor inside the hive.
In between these treatments, I continued to inspect the hive and was very satisfied that the hive seemed strong and healthy. I had lots of bees in comb, and they made a pleasant, constant buzzing sound as they worked together in the hive. At one point, I had separated the frames too far, so the bees were making a ladder with their bodies to measure the distance between the frames. Bees in natural colonies measure the interior to get a spatial sense of how to build their comb. This helps them understand the size and dimension of the cavity they have to work with. Amazing. I put the frames closer together, between 3/8 of an inch and 1/4 inch is best, so they would be comfortable within the box. On October 11th, Randy, the state inspector, came out again to show me how to do an alcohol wash to see how effective the varroa mite treatments had been. I found 2 hive beetles that were caught in the oil trap, which didn't concern me too much. What I really wanted to know was what the mite count was for my hive. The procedure seems rather cruel, but the alternative is worse. The alcohol wash sacrifices 300 bees, but if there is a mite infestation, the entire hive of over 30,000 bees could die. 300 is a small price to pay to ensure the survival of the hive. After collecting 300 bees in the yellow container, swishing them around in the alcohol, which killed them, then looking for any mites that dropped off the bees, we determined that I only had 3 mites. Anything less than 10 per 300 bees is very good, but having only 3 was excellent. I was thrilled that Anthony's treatment had worked and we were going into the winter season with a healthy hive. Randy also captured the queen and we inspected the hive for new brood. Unfortunately, we didn't find any, but since the hive was large and it was October, so the queen was laying less, Randy wasn't too concerned.
Edit this, so.
Oh yeah, okay. So I just it's like a hair clip, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm releasing the queen.
So
So leave it, like put it on
Where
the,
is she?
on
There
the
she
ground.
is. Okay. Oh, okay.
First, and open it. Well, did she climb out?
Yeah. There, I think I just saw her climb out. Yep. And she went down.
During the summer and fall, there was much activity going on inside and outside of the hive, which I enjoyed watching. Each bee has a specific job to do to keep the hive healthy, and I watched with amazement as they brought back pollen on specialized structures on their hind legs, affectionately known as pollen baskets, saddlebags, or pollen pellets. On afternoons when the direct sunlight heated up the hive, many bees would fly out, temporarily lowering the population, thereby lowering the temperature inside. In the fall, I noticed them inspecting each bee that came to the hive to make sure it belonged there. Sometimes they would kill an outsider, like a yellow jacket or a wasp that was trying to winter in the colony, or possibly a drone of their own colony, since drones are not needed or wanted during the winter months. In the winter, hives are made up of the queen and workers only, since the only purpose of a drone is to mate. Again, this seems cruel, but it is one way of ensuring the survival of the hive. On November 15th, I winterized my hive by wrapping it with an outer cover. My husband made a burlap windbreak to protect against some of the high winter winds, and I gave the colony plenty of sugar to keep them alive in case they ran out of honey within the hive. No hive inspections would be done until the spring. On January 4th, I checked the feeder to make sure that the sugar level was sufficient. Some of the bees were taking their cleansing flight since it was such a warm day. It's January 4th, 2023. It's like 60 degrees out here. Bees are coming in and out, so they're still doing okay in there. On January 19th, I checked it again and topped off the feeder to keep it full of sugar, just in case. I checked and topped up the sugar feeder again on February 7th. On February 8th, I noticed that the bees had gotten rid of their dead comrades in order to clean the hive. It was about 50 degrees outside, so they were coming in and out, stretching their wings and cleaning house. The next day, February 9th, it was even warmer, over 60 degrees. I was very happy to see so many bees flying outside the hive on such a warm day. This was a good sign that my hive was still strong and healthy. Some of these bees may have been recently hatched adults that were taking their first orientation flight outside. A week later, I was shocked to see the bees flying into the hive with what appeared to be filled pollen sacs. It was the middle of February. Where had they found pollen? I don't know, but they were definitely bringing back something to the hive. Though the bees had been eating supplemental sugar and the hive seemed healthy, Anthony placed a pollen patty inside the top box just to be sure that they would have enough resources until spring. Okay, so we're going to put a pollen patty on the hive. This is February 20th. President's Day, yeah. So we're gonna take Anthony, anyway, he's gonna take this stuff off. You want me to pull this back? Are you gonna take the frame off?
I have to take the inner cover off.
Oh, okay, the inner cover. Okay, so this, yeah, that'll probably need to go down a little more. Yeah.
They're gonna be a little annoyed.
Okay. Oh, yeah, they're all on the inside. Oh my gosh, there's lots of them in there.
Weird.
Yeah. Wow. Whoa.
I'm not happy that something's going in their home.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. And they'll be like, oh wait, that's pollen. Awesome.
So that's pollen and nutrients, right?
Right.
Just in case they need it to get them through the
Oh yeah. Once they
rest of the
it,
winter.
they'll pretty much render it down and put it into their cells.
Oh, okay.
Just as storage and food for the babies.
Okay.
Baby bees.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, good. But there's a bunch of bees still in there.
This is gonna be tricky.
That's gonna be very tricky. Now let me turn my video off and I'll help you. Okay, this is March 25th, and Anthony is going to do a treatment to kill any mites that might be in the new capped brood. And
I'm gonna be putting 2 grams of oxalic acid into this vaporizer.
that's oxalic acid, you said.
Yep.
There's the vaporizer. So you're actually sticking it into the hive. Right? So cover it up with a cloth so the vapor stays in there. That's really
And let it run for about 4 minutes.
4 minutes? Okay. Okay, so the 4 minutes is done. Just gonna pull it off. Oh, it's all gone. Okay. The bees probably weren't too happy that you did that, but
for their own good?
That's what
Okay, very simple. Okay. So hopefully this will kill any mites that happen to be in there.
exactly.
Okay, good.
By early April, I was very pleased to see so much activity. This is Sunday, April 9th, Easter Sunday. I think my hive's doing pretty well. During a hot spell in mid-April, some of the bees congregated on the outside of the hive in a behavior called bearding. By doing this, these bees were making extra space in the hive to increase airflow, thereby controlling the temperature inside the hive. I had not observed bearding before, so I was relieved when Anthony explained that this was a common technique bees use to keep the hive at a constant temperature. Anthony had put a sensor at the top of the inside of the hive, and this day it registered at 104.8 degrees. The optimum temperature in a hive is between 90 and 97 degrees, so they were definitely trying to cool things down. I think the term bearding is very appropriate because as the bees group together in these hanging structures, they look like little beards. Many of the bees were also rapidly fanning their wings to increase airflow going into the hive. In less than an hour, the bees had decreased the temperature of the hive by over 2 degrees, which I thought was quite amazing. As the evening approached and the outside temperature decreased, all the bees went back inside the hive to return to their regular duties. This was yet another amazing behavior the bees used to regulate their colony. On April 16th, Anthony and I performed a Damari split, which separates the queen and worker bees from the brood and nurse bees. This alleviates overcrowding and prevents any urge to swarm. It keeps the hive as one unit instead of splitting the hive into two separate colonies as is usually done. It will allow the colony to grow and hopefully produce lots of honey at the beginning of the season as we are keeping all the bees together in a very large colony.
Yes.
And we're looking for the queen. We're going to take the frames out and look for the queen and isolate her.
Did you smoke them up good, Judy?
I did. The problem is they got all that sticky stuff on there, you know. And
And the queen possibly could, still have a green dot on her.
oh, okay.
Let's see.
That would be extremely helpful.
So I was able to find the queen in one of my colonies yesterday.
Really?
That was good. I marked
This
her
has all
for
kind of honey on it.
And try to look to see if you see eggs as well.
Kidding. Oh.
This guy, baby.
Look out, dude. This down here. try it again. Just keep doing it the way I've taken them out, putting them back in that way.
Yep, yeah. These things are plentiful. This is packed house right here.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's what we want. Packed house. How you doing, dear?
Don't be afraid of work. Clean where I feel like I should have seen her already.
I mean, I'm looking for something with a dot on it.
Yeah, a queen.
'Cause
And
I don't. And there's more of those queen
there
cups.
she is. Got her.
Oh, you got her?
Yep.
Oh. Oh yeah, I see her. Oh yeah.
Stood up.
Oh yeah, I see her. Yep, she's got the green dot.
Okay, so this is all brood nectar, and there aren't any queen cups or cells in here. So this is gonna go. Actually, I should do this. Okay, so this is going into the center. This. Shouldn't do that. Slow, controlled movements. Alright, so this is gonna do here. Of course, the dance time.
Okay, so you just put the queen excluder on there, and then that's an empty box of frames, right?
Yeah, this is a medium box,
Okay.
so that they'll have some separation
Between
where
the
all the brood is going to be, which
Yeah.
is in the boxes above.
okay, and the
where
queen
the actual
and the
queen
queen is down here. Yeah. And she's still down there, right?
Oh yeah, she's down there with one whole box full of her bees. I'm sorry, one whole frame full of her eggs,
Okay.
or full of her babies, basically.
Yeah.
And she also has a whole bunch of brood that is soon to hatch. It's actually
Yeah. 2 empty boxes, another queen excluder, and then we're gonna put this box
back on top.
back on top.
Yep.
Okay.
So this guy doesn't matter so much because they are going to do what they're going to do, which is they're going to make queens because they're not going to smell their queen in
Yeah.
this box.
I mean, they've already got little.
They got
little
cups because they're
cups, yeah.
always prepared.
Oh. Okay.
But now that they'll be in a far distance from their queen,
Yeah, they're gonna make another one.
they'll start to make new queens.
To see the babies or the brood in there. Is there brood in there? Oh yeah.
Yep, that's all capped over
yeah.
brood.
Yeah, there's brood.
On the outside, you have your honey, you have your dark nectar.
So what are these things here?
Those are drones.
Those are drones?
Yeah, they call them bullet cells because drones are larger than
Oh.
workers, so
And
they
they're
protrude out
Oh, and they're
the voice.
yeah, but they're on the edges too. That's what I've read too. They're on the
Typically.
edges.
Yep.
Oh, look at that! Oh my gosh, they're so much bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Look at the larvae in different stages, you can see.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wait. Can you turn that again? Did you do the same thing what you just did? There. Okay. Oh yeah, there's the larvae in there.
You see a few waggle dances as well.
Waggle dance.
The ones that are wiggling, they're letting other bees know where they found their booty.
Oh,
Or
okay.
honey or nectar.
Yeah, just hold it still.
Easier said.
I know. I know. I just want to get some video of all the larvae in there. That's which is really cool. Okay. Thanks. Okay, this thing is really tall. Got a lot of boxes. It's a good thing Anthony's tall.
This Damari split produced a vertical 5-box hive instead of 2 shorter hives. The queen and worker bees in the bottom 2 boxes, 2 empty supers in the middle, and nurse bees with brood at the top. Here are some examples of queen cups if the bees decide to make a new queen. They are always prepared. Here's the queen with her large abdomen and green dot. Here are some examples of bee larvae in their brood cells. Here are close-ups of the male drone cells, which are larger than the female worker cells. Their larva is also considerably larger when compared to the worker bee larva. On April 20th, 5 days after making the split, we opened the hive to check for any queen cells that the bees in the upper 2 boxes might have made. If they had made any queen cells that contained larvae, we would either destroy it or Anthony would use it to make a nuke for himself to start another hive. It is very important to only have 1 queen per hive, and our queen was already laying eggs in the bottom box. Since the bees in the upper boxes could not detect this queen since we had separated them, their instinct was to make another queen to replace her. We did not want that to happen.
Oh, sorry, dude. Oh, I just squished one.
As it turned out, they were in the process of making a queen, so Anthony used it to make his nucleus for another hive. He then destroyed the other queen cups we found, which fortunately did not contain any larvae. Since bees only make queens from eggs that are less than 3 days old, all those young eggs had by now turned into larvae, so we knew they wouldn't be making any more queens. All we needed to do was wait for the larvae to mature into adult bees, join the queen and the rest of the hive in the bottom box, and watch them continue growing their new hive.
Odor already hatching out. That is going horizontal, so I'm believing it's a drone. But either way, I could have just built it funny. So nothing here as far as cells. There's some eggs still up here, new larvae. You see that?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
not eggs, but it was eggs, but now it's a bunch of larvae.
Yeah, a bunch of larvae in there.
So these bees up top are going to be stuck here for another 16 days for all this to. I'll get this second. You want to go with like on this side where there's not where the comb.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so those bees will. So this box up top, they're gonna kind of have to stay up here because there's
all those,
eggs that are gonna have to hatch larvae. So this is actually capped over now, brood.
Yeah.
This wasn't here before.
Okay. Yeah.
But
I see I see a bunch of the drone.
Yeah, the bullet cells, the ones that protrude out larger.
Yeah.
And there's some queen cups
that right
on
there?
the bottom.
There's one.
That's a queen cup, possibly, but if I look inside and see if there's anything in there. Yep, they're making something in there.
Yeah, they are making something in there.
Yeah, so that will be a queen.
Okay.
And on the other side, there's just one so far.
Okay.
So I'm going to put this one over to the side just because. Now this has a little bit of brood down there. Let's see.
Aren't there 3 queen cups? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? There's a whole potload of them.
Oh, there's a lot here, yeah. There's a couple in there made. Okay, so either way, these are the younger ones. I think I like, well, I do like the condition of the other ones better. So,
Oh, you're just gonna snap it off?
so messed up.
These are empty queen cups.
So you're gonna come back in when? In another week? Or
Now it's not really as important to come back because now they don't have a way of making queens.
any queens? Because all the babies are in larva stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no more eggs. It's been over 3 days since the queen's been removed.
Okay.
So we can come back just like our normal inspections, a week out, a couple weeks out, but from 25 days of the day we did the split,
Yeah.
all of the eggs and all of these that were laid up here,
Right.
are going to travel down and come down here because the queen's laying brand new eggs down here, and your instinct is to take care of those baby bees.
Okay. Now we didn't look in that bottom box. Did you look in it when you?
I did not know.
No. Okay.
I don't think there was much of a point to.
Okay.
Because the queen had 9 empty frames, ample room to lay. She had an exploder above her, so she couldn't go higher.
Right.
So her only choice is to lay eggs all around here,
Yep.
and that's what she's doing.
Okay.
This method's been around for
Yep.
100 and some years, I think.
Yay! Okay. Okay, so this is the nuke that Anthony made. So we took one of the queen cups from there, from the hive up on the hill, and he added two empty frames
These
with it?
2 wooden frames are from the hive,
Right, they're from the
and
hive.
all the plastic ones are empty.
Are empty, right? And so they're making a new queen. And then he's got the starter frames to make a new hive with. This is called a nuke. And so he's got 1, 2, 4, 5 frames. The queen, some starter worker bees, and empty frames for them to build their comb out with and continue a new hive. So, okay, great. Thanks.
On May 6th, we opened the hive to make sure the queen was actively laying and that she had enough space to continue laying her eggs. We also wanted to make sure all the larvae in the upper boxes had matured into adults and had moved to the bottom box to join the main colony, since it had been 21 days since we had separated them from the queen. We were very glad to see that the larvae had matured. They had joined the main colony, the queen was laying, and she still had more frames to use. So we left her with an additional box of frames just to make sure she had enough space to continue growing the colony. Anthony took the top 2 boxes for a swarm that had occurred in his yard that day, and we closed up the hive, leaving a top box of frames called a super that I hoped the bees would partially fill so that I could collect some honey at the end of May.
I'm thinking there's like not many places for her.
Oh, they're throwing a lot of comb. Yeah, but they're empty of any brood or eggs or anything. Okay.
Oh, yeah. The queen excluder is above that, so they won't really do much to that.
Okay, so here's where all of the queen and babies and brood should be doing their thing. Okay, this is a clean excluder that you're going to take off. Oops.
So, yeah, they're not on this drone comb, but I can only hope. Well, they're starting a little. So they haven't started filling anything out on this one.
No, not yet. Need to smoke them a little bit more.
I'm looking for signs of the queen or the queen. So eggs or the actual queen. It'd be nice. There's all ages of baby bees on this guy.
Let me see the other side.
And this is nothing at all really started.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, so she's got holes that she can lay in there.
Not yet.
We haven't found the queen, but
So there is space. That's
wanted to make sure there was
saying
enough space
something.
for her to lay.
I don't think I've ever seen a colony this thick with bees.
Really?
It's full of bees.
Oh, it's working.
There's an undertaker bee taking a bee out. That was interesting to see.
An undertaker bee?
Yeah, carrying some dead bees.
Oh, really? That's what you call them? Undertaker bees?
Yeah, that's their job.
Oh, man. Okay, I didn't know that.
Okay. That means 500 to 1,500 eggs, I'm sorry, bees will die in a normal day.
So there's a lot of resources there.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
some cups underneath here.
Oh,
Nothing in them.
let me see.
There's some cups.
Oh, yeah, there's some cups underneath there. Okay. And those are queen cups, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Their queens are going to be laid vertically.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's all pollen in there?
Oh no, this is all brood. But
Oh,
the
they're
beehive
capped, yeah.
pretty pollen on it.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're paying attention to the color of the pollen on the pollen packs? Okay.
Yeah, some is like an orange.
Yeah.
Alright, so you'll just take it and stand over that and then shake it.
Just shake them off?
Mm-hmm.
Gonna shake them off. Look at this one. Look at this one.
Yeah.
That's not a
No, that's nice.
He's huge.
Yep. Dump down in the bottom box.
Okay, so everybody's dumped in the bottom box, and then you're giving them a middle box here, just one, for them also for the queen to lay eggs in, and then hopefully they will make resources, honey, in that top one.
One drones.
Are you going to put two up there or just one?
Just one.
Just the one? Okay.
Yeah, because this one is now kind of empty because
Yeah.
it was on the top.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And so they'll fill on that. And of course they'll have this other one.
Yeah, to fill with honey. Hopefully, that's where I'll get my honey from in another 3 weeks or so, 4 weeks. Okay, cool. All right, so that's the shortened version.
So they didn't have any queens in the top.
Right.
They had one queen cup.
Right,
They didn't have any like charged queen cells.
right.
So we did a good job of getting rid of the queens.
Yeah. Yep.
Or getting rid of the cups before.
So there's only one in there.
The deep, the medium, and the super on top. Here are some more empty queen cups. These male drones are much larger than the female worker bees. Their sole purpose is to mate with the queen. They don't work, they don't make honey, and they can't sting. Since a queen only needs to mate once, most of the drones won't even get the chance to fulfill their role. But worker bees keep them around just in case a new queen needs mating.
A big drone. Okay, so this is just dead pieces, parts, poop, just all kinds of stuff that came out of the very bottom of the hive. So there's waste that goes on in there, and you just kind of have to dump it out every now and then.
On warm afternoons in May, I loved watching the activity outside the hive with busy bees bringing fresh pollen to the colony in their full pollen baskets. These baskets are called corbicula, A corbicula is made up of hairs blended together to form a concave shape. While inspecting his own hives, Anthony found several large cells hanging in the middle of one of his frames. These are called supersedure cells, which are meant to naturally replace a failing queen. They look very similar to a swarm or queen cell, which are usually hanging from the bottom or margins of the frame. However, both of these cells are essentially emergency cells to replace the queen in case she swarms, dies, or isn't laying enough eggs. On May 26th, I opened the top box, or super, to see if any frames contained honey. I was disappointed that most frames had nothing on them. I then checked a few frames in the medium box, which contained lots of capped honey, and noticed what looked like a queen cell on the edge, but didn't think too much about it. The next day, Anthony checked all the boxes and deduced that the queen had swarmed because there were many emergency queen cells throughout both bottom boxes. I could hardly believe that the hive had swarmed again. Anthony switched the super and the medium boxes and put a screen in between so that when the bees went down to the main box, they couldn't come up again. That would keep the top medium box relatively free of bees so that we could take those frames to extract honey. The following day, May 28th, Anthony inspected all the boxes again, and fortunately he found a new queen in the medium box, which he promptly caught and marked. However, he also found lots of emergency queen cells, some empty and some capped, that the bees had made when their original queen left. Since she was the only queen he found, he surmised that either the others had not hatched yet, or that this queen had killed any rivals that had hatched from the remaining queen cells. He cut off those queen cells to avoid any rivals from hatching.
Oh goodness. There's a queen up here.
Oh no.
But I'll get her.
She's not the one that's...
No clue.
Because there's all these... there's all these open queen cells here.
Yeah, there can
But that one
be
looks
multiple queens. So this one, back to...
that queen cell there looks like it's capped. That one right there?
Yeah, I'm gonna just turn this to the switch. There she is.
There she is.
Feed in. And we don't know if this is just one of the queens, or I doubt it's the queen. Well, she's not marked. She's not the old queen.
Right.
There we go. Get on your back. There.
Since the hive was in emergency mode without a laying queen, the bees were quite anxious and angry. They were attacking us left and right. I had never seen them so aggressive. We had to leave the area several times just to get the bees off
Not
of
very
us.
happy.
I got stung twice, and Anthony was stung
I'm
4
trying not to get
times.
stung.
It was very unnerving.
Space.
Yeah.
Looks like another one came open too. Yeah, these are empty. It just hatched.
They just hatched, I think.
Must have, yeah. This one, look how it's chewed open right here. See right there?
Oh, yeah.
So either we're gonna find a few more queens, or they already swarmed, and we just found one.
I'm not happy.
Yeah, but I don't see any more. I haven't seen a queen yet, and I did spot that one quickly. Oh, crap. I want to just get rid of it, knowing that.
Yeah. Oh. That's just a whole cluster of queen
It
cells?
looks like it may previously have been one, but I can't quite tell. But either way,
Yeah.
it's gone.
Yeah.
And just making sure I don't see another queen, which the moment I not. See those?
Yes, I do.
This one was the one flooded with them.
Oh my gosh. You want to just be still? Oh my gosh.
This looks chewed open.
They are not happy at all. This is the maddest I've ever seen them. These bees are absolutely not happy at all. They're swarming. I'm not even standing near the hive, and they're swarming all around me. Poor Anthony's getting creamed. Gosh, they're not happy at all. This is the most angry I've ever seen in my hive, because they're without a queen. They're trying to get their picture taken. Okay, so you just put the queen that we found, the new queen, back in the hive. So they should settle down after that, right? Because they've got a queen now.
Settle down and get out of there.
Yeah. They are really not happy at all.
Anthony put the new queen in the hive, took out 5 frames of honey for us to extract, and put the medium box back on top of the deep box. We then hightailed it out of there with bees chasing us all the way. The virgin queen will have to go on her mating flight and then return to begin laying eggs. Hopefully, she will mate well and begin laying lots of eggs, which will allow the hive to return to a normal state once again. These are just some pictures of some uncapped and capped queen cells that we took out of the hive. Though I was wearing my bee suit, this was in my left arm, and this was in my right arm. Here are the 5 frames of honey that we were going to extract the next day. Tuesday, May 30th, was honey day. I was hoping to fill 1 or 2 jars of honey, but we ended up filling a dozen jars with extra to spare. I was thrilled. Anthony had taken the hive to his home early that morning. He locked them in, plastic-wrapped the boxes, and transported them in a wagon. Several bees were surrounding a discarded queen cell from earlier, looking for the hive, we assume. In the early afternoon, I set up the extractor kit and we set to work. I had rented this from the Summit County Beekeepers Association. We closed the garage door so that we wouldn't attract any bees with the flowing honey. All it takes is one bee finding the honey, and before you know it, you have a problem. The first thing we needed to do was to slice off the wax capping over the honey. The kit had come with a hot knife, which made the decapping easy to do. Okay, so it's much better if you use the thicker part of the knife instead of the end like I was doing. A little bit on there. We then put 2 frames at a time into the extractor and turned the crank, which forced the honey out using centrifugal force. The honey collected on the inside of the extractor walls where it slowly dripped down to the bottom.
We're making honey butter.
Honey butter, yeah. Just spinning the frames. So the centrifugal force spins out the honey. The faster you go, the more force you have on there. So we'll see how fast you turn it.
There's somebody that likes what he's doing.
Smells like honey.
Looks like significantly less there.
Yeah, there's a lot on that side though.
Yeah, that's the side that wasn't.
Yeah. To speed up the dripping process, John warmed the honey with a hairdryer. Heating all the honey to get it down the edge.
Hold the get the second bottle over here in preparation too.
You think there's going to be enough?
Oh, there's 3, maybe 4.
No.
I think
We should probably get a gauge ready.
You think?
Yeah, if we could grab a couple more.
Oh my. After all the honey had been extracted, we opened the flow valve on the extractor and let it pour into 2 strainers. This strained out any wax and impurities that had also come out of the frames along with the honey. Ooh,
Sorry, I'm all excited.
Is it thin enough that it's dripping into the
You're
bottle?
gonna have to look and kind of catch it.
I am, but it's not. I mean, nothing's coming out.
We eventually put the honey bucket under the strainers and then filled the jars directly from the honey bucket.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Homemade honey from 231 Green Hill Drive. Yay. Wow.
Better tilt it a little more.
Yeah, spatula it all out the sides.
Teach you about the spatula and that. The instructions, did they?
No, they didn't say that.
Since this was at the beginning of the season and we only had 6 frames to work with, I was not very optimistic about how much honey we could actually extract. I was so excited and thrilled with the results. A dozen 12-ounce jars with some to spare.
Accumulate.
Anthony had brought one of his frames to add to my 5, which made 6 total frames to extract honey from.
Six jars.
This is May 30th, 2023. I got 12-ounce jars of honey from my first year as a beekeeper. And we even filled up my Giant Eagle one and an extra because I ran out of glass jars. So we got lots of honey from 5 frames. So I'm very, very happy.
We were moving to Maryland the following week, so I gave several jars to my neighbors as a goodbye gift. With Anthony's mentoring and help, my beekeeping experiment was a sweet success. The hive lived through the winter, thrived, and produced enough honey for my own enjoyment with extra to share. And along the way, I made a wonderful friend in Anthony, and I am forever grateful for his knowledge and patience with all my questions. Anthony added my hive to his existing colonies, and I wish him well with his future beekeeping adventures. I learned so much about honeybees and their amazing colonies, which gives praise to their Creator. Psalm 92:4. For you, O Lord, have made me glad by your work. At the works of your hands I sing for joy. There were excessive bees flying around our backyard and clustering around the fire pit bricks where the hive used to be after Anthony had taken it away. We think they were attracted to some of the empty queen cells that Anthony had sliced off the hive almost a week earlier. We had to spray the bees, blow them away, throw away the bricks, and bury the area in dirt before they finally gave up and flew away. Amazing. A program for the Summit County Beekeepers Association demonstrated how to capture a swarm. The presenter hung a queen on a branch and the colony surrounded her, forming a large mass. It was quite the visual.
Your branch.
When you go to clip that branch, be aware of the weight you're dealing with. If you
Yes,
got 5 or 10 pounds
absolutely.
of bees on there, it'll wrench your wrist.
and also don't squeeze them. And also, not that I've done this, but make sure that you cut the side that the bees are not like, okay, don't cut here with your hand is here.
Only when you're trimming a tree you can do that.
That's an interesting piece of advice. What made you suggest that?
Looking real smart in front of customers. They don't know though. If you just pretend, you're like, oh, there it goes. You know, just play with it. They have no idea. All right. So that's what I mean about shake them in and pull it out. Let's see.
Yeah, you got so you never gets done.
I have
See, that's why I don't have hair.
Maybe do I? Yeah, I got stung in the face yesterday.